Oh, come on, don't be so harsh on yourself. I mean, of course you gained some kills, but you can't compare yourself when you were in your 20s. I mean, of course you were a coupe back in the days, but now, even though you gained some kilos, I think you're still fine, little Puma. Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to another video. Today I am with the 2022 Ford Puma. Of course we're going to review the exterior, and of course it's not anymore a coupe, but don't tell anyone. The interior and some cheap plastic here. And we're going to see how it rides. Another feature that this car has is the co-pilot. I'm Alessio, and of course you're watching the Elliott Club. Can you imagine that this one is the successor of the old Puma? Do you remember how the old Puma was? It was a little coupe, really fun to drive. Now we have a kind of SUV, more of a crossover I would say, that is also fun to drive. This time this Puma is based on the Fiesta platform, so as you might be aware of, it's already really fun to drive. Now people are saying that based on the headlights, this car seems like a fish, but if you remember back in the days the old Puma had kind of similar headlights, so I don't see that big deal. Apart from the headlights, one of the big differences with the old one is that huge grille that this new Puma has. And of course, it's not anymore a coupe, but don't tell anyone. Despite this model is the ST line version, it doesn't matter which trim you get, you will always have the LED, full LED headlights as standard, and in my opinion this is a great thing. And the parking sensors comes as standard as well. The only thing that I don't like about this front is that why so many car manufacturers are obsessed with fake air vents. It doesn't mean anything, it's not functional, it's there for what reasons, I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Moving to the side of this car, we find here the wheels. This specific model here has 18 inches, but the base model comes with 17. You have to upgrade through the trims to get the optional 18 inches. Now we find another main difference with the old Puma. That is, this car has 5 doors and the other one had 3 doors since it was a coupe. But in my opinion, despite having 2 extra doors, it still looks pretty aggressive and pretty sporty. The thing that comes as standard is the blacked out window at the back of the car that in many German cars you will pay over 500 euros. Unfortunately though, this specific model doesn't have the keyless entry, which might come handy sometimes. Moving to the back of the car, we do find here these beautiful LED tail lights, which are shaped very well in my opinion, and especially at night they are very bright. And of course we do find here the Puma name and the Ford logo. So convinced though about 2 things about this rear. The first one is, I don't know why they decided to shape the fog light so big. And the second thing is, since they blacked out the Puma name, why they didn't black out the exhaust as well? Speaking about boot capacity, since this car should be an SUV but it's more of a crossover or a big hatchback in my opinion, here we have 456 liters, one more of the main competitor, which is the T-Cross. I think the boot of this car is shaped really well since it's really regular and really squared, so it's easy to carry lots of items. The only problem though is that first, it doesn't have a ski bottle, and secondly, I think that the load lip is a little bit too big. Inside the boot you will find your 12-volt socket, of course, 2 hooks, a courtesy lights, and one of the coolest thing ever. They call it in Ford the Mega Box. It basically is this huge box inside the boot in which you can carry basically whatever you want. When you open and close the doors of this car, as you can see at the front, you have this pretty solid sound that is really good in my opinion. But if you come here at the back, the feeling is way different. I don't know why they decided to go for different materials, but it is kind of annoying. Moving to the interior, since this car starts from over 24,000 euros, it's kind of normal to find different materials in the door panel. I'm not 100% sure if this is real or not. In my opinion, it's some fake leather, but still it's soft touch, so it's pretty nice. And of course we do find here some crunchy material, as you can see, but it's pretty normal for this price tag. Moving to the armrest, we still find some fake leather and some cheap plastic here, as you can hear. Moving inside the cabin, I absolutely love those aluminum pedals in here, and the fact that this car comes as standard with the Bang & Olufsen speakers and this huge digital display in front of me. Now it's time for the horn test. Speaking about steering wheel, I don't particularly like it, since I think it's too chunky and too big, and it has too many buttons, in my opinion. I don't even know why Ford decided to go for these fake carbon fiber effects here. I guess it's for giving this car a little bit of sportiveness, but it feels pretty cheap and it's not really good to see. Moving to the central part of the cabin, we do find here the infotainment system, and I have to say that it's pretty good. I mean, it's not the best one out there, it's not super responsive, but it works pretty well. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, the inbuilt navigation system, and if you use your phone, you won't have any issues. Moving down, thanks God, we still find some physical buttons to control the air conditioning, and then there is a little storage. Thinking about phone connectivity, I don't know why Ford decided to go in this direction, since they just added one single USB port here and another one inside the armrest, which is not easy to reach at all. Another cool thing that this Puma has is the opportunity to change between different drive modes. We have the normal, the Eco, the Sport, the Trail, the Slippery, and the cool fact is that it depends in which drive mode you are, it changes as well the dials. Then we find 3 cup holders of different sizes, and the cool thing is that at night it illuminates of blue. Speaking about the glove box, it's pretty roomy and pretty organized, and you won't have any problem in fitting your snacks or your bottle of water or any stuff you want. Moving to the back of this car, I don't know why Ford decided to go for this direction, since the windows over here doesn't come all the way down and we do not find any air vents here or an armrest for the passengers. But overall, even though this is my driving positions and I am 5.6 feet tall, so I'm pretty short, I am wearing a hat here and I have plenty of room for my head and plenty of room for my knees. So it's not that bad, but I can assure you that you can't carry 3 full adults on the back of this car because they will struggle a lot. Now let's see how this Ford Puma drives. Now, despite being the mild hybrid one, the suspension of this car are quite firm and on point. And even though it only has 125 horsepower, this car feels really responsive. It doesn't even have such a big brake system, but when you put the foot on the brake, it brakes immediately. Maybe it's a little bit too punchy in my opinion. One thing that for me is mandatory in a car is that you should be able to see all the limits of the bonnet in front of you, and this Puma gives you that opportunity. You have a complete vision about the car. Maybe the C-pillar at the back, it's a little bit too big, but overall you will be able to understand where the car ends at any time, despite having the parking sensor of course, and the rear view camera. When you select the different drive modes that this car has, it really changes. If you put in sport mode, the car will instantly feel more reactive and more responsive, and it will influence also the brake pedal. When you put it in Eco, it lacks a little bit of power, and when you put it in normal, I think it's a perfect one for a daily drive. Despite this car weighs over 1,200 kilos, it is capable to do 0 to 100 in less than 9 seconds, which I think is pretty fine. While driving, the digital display, it's pretty clear even if the sun goes directly into it. Ford did a really good job for the displays in general about this car, since also the infotainment system, it's pretty clear, and also the rear view camera. Indeed, you won't have any problem even at night in reverse mode. This car also has the co-pilot as optional, which basically means that you can set the speed limits and the car will drive by itself, and it slows down and accelerates in case of emergency by itself as well. The only thing that you have to do is switching gears. So what do I think about this Ford Puma? Well, I think that this cannot be classified as a SUV, but it's more of a crossover or a big hatchback, since it's based on the Fiesta platform as well. Being compared to the main competitors of this car, which are the T-Cross from Volkswagen or the Nissan Juke, this car is a little bit sportier than a T-Cross and a little bit posher inside of a Juke. So overall, I think it will be a great choice. And what about you? What do you think about this car? Would you buy it or would you go for something else? Let me know down below in the comment section, and if you like the video, please put a like and subscribe if you want, so you won't miss out any more videos. I'm Alessio, and of course you watched the Elliott Club.